Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Striving to Thriving, How to Redefine Success. I am your host, Barbara Ellison. I'm a transformational life trainer and founder of Wellness Playroom for the best version of you. And I'm on a mission to make happiness the norm rather than the exception. And I'm so excited to have my good friend, a new friend, but it has turned out to be a good friend, Maria, with me today. And she's going to be introducing her panelists. And we are going to talk about how we have redefined success. So, Maria, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, yeah, I'm here in Sweden. It's evening, and just like you said, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It really fits. It's late in the evening here in Sweden.
So,
Hmm.
okay, yeah, so let's introduce your panelists and find out who they are and where they're from and what they do and all that kind of stuff. So, tell us what you. Let's start off with you. Tell us what you do.
Oh, about me.
Yes,
Yes, I am
absolutely.
the founder of the Human Contract Foundation. I'm also ambassador for World Peace Awardee 2023. And last year we had an amazing time at. It was a great start for the Human Contract Foundation. We were with the team and in House of Commons and House of Lords, and also I was the re-invited to be the keynote speaker at the World Peace conference in Stockholm, and with me, joining me on those events were the co-founder Stefan Heinz. Stefan, would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. So I'm Stefan. I'm Swedish, but I happen to live in southern Spain, and I'm trying to get away to show you my one of my dogs. We have at the moment 8 dogs and 20 cats in our home. We're taking care of the cats and dogs on the street here in Spain that need someone to be their voice. Anyway, I'm the co-founder of the Human Contract, as Maria says, and I think we will go through a lot more about what that is and what we do with that later.
Yeah. And with us, we also have Anna De Veer. She's a Grammy Award winning talent. She's a global wellness advocate, producer, and talent spotter. Her genius is in music, film production, television, radio, podcast, and live events. Anna, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I was remembering that, Maria, I met you in October as a guest on my show, Discover Your Potential. And here we are. We're not just another talk show. We actually look to see how far the ripples go once we've joined forces with our guests. But I don't think anyone has stolen my heart more than Maria and Stefan. And now that I am formally stepping into their arena, it's my pleasure to lend my background into their movement. Global Wellness Advocate was a title I gave myself in 2016 when I really didn't understand what it meant to me yet, just knowing I wanted to make a global impact. And I think I'll talk a lot about this in the context of this program and success, how putting out your highest intention magnetizes you to the people like Maria and Stefan. It's my privilege to work with them. So here we are.
Right. That
Thank
is
you, Anna.
awesome. So cool. All right. So yeah, let's chat about redefining success. What does that mean? So who wants to start?
Anna, do you want to
I
start?
would love to. I would love to.
Yeah.
I think my background is in theater. I'm performing, and I've always been a performer. One of the threads through my life has been storytelling. So when I met Maria, and she and I understood each other immediately about this human contract, which it's my privilege that we're going to open that up too. I'd love to leave room to talk about that. My definition of success again is that I really like lifting others. And so being a talk show host is a natural fit for me, but it's quite an evolution. Um, I've had many highs and many lows in a career sense as a media person. And I know that my superpower is adaptability, but sometimes that involves letting the past go. If I'm not charging forward and doing things that really scare me, this really scares me to be a PR, arm of a world peace movement. But I think, in the best sense of the word, being adaptable is my definition of success. Bouncing back after failure and understanding that's what I hope to inspire in everyone on the planet. You have a potential. We have a certain responsibility to lift each other up. The human contract just beautifully overarches all of that. And so I think it magnetizes me, and others will come to realize that it's really a place to link arms with people that are like-minded. And lifting others is my definition of success.
Thank
Couldn't
you.
agree more. That's what I love about being doing these shows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Each one of us joined together, we get more visible for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
adds more visibility. And I think that's one of the most important things. And that was, talk about scary too. It's like just doing these. It's like, oh yeah, let's Barbara, let's just do it. Okay. Just say yes. Don't you mind?
So Stefan, what is success for you?
It changed a lot over time. My career been very selfish motivated and money motivated. My change came in one of these trips to one of the poorest places on earth, in Malawi in Africa. And I was there on a CSR trip to see where we made some change with our efforts from that company. Sorry. And in that poorest place on earth, we were visiting, and they were celebrating when we arrived. So I started to cry in the car. I couldn't leave the car. I couldn't go out to that crowd because I had everything. They had nothing. And they celebrated. They sang, and all of that. Anyway, I couldn't show them I was crying. Anyway, I get out there. We spent a couple of days visiting all these places. In one of these places, I met a little girl, and she had a T-shirt on. The T-shirt said, "I love hugs," and a big heart. And it's just that struck this everyone loves hugs. Everyone wants to be loved. And that's now 10 years ago I went to that trip, and since then I kind of shifted the way I wanted to go about my own success in life. So instead of defining that in money, defining that in how to serve others, I use my superpowers, as you say, Anna. My superpower may be resilience. I never give up, or winning others over. So I do believe that in the mission that we are on together, those things are needed. So defining success today is for me to serve, and to serve others, to get that hug that we all need.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I've heard this story, and it touches me every time that you tell this story. I so appreciate, and Stefan, I know you know how much I appreciate you for who you are in the world. Before I created or came up with the idea of the human contract, I saw patterns. I think I have sort of a semi dyslexic mind or brain. I saw patterns. I saw patterns both how we suffer individually, and we suffer in relationships, and we suffer globally, and we have so many challenges. And also I saw the same pattern. It was the pattern from the beginning. It was the pattern that I knew with my background with human resources and leadership, I've been working with 25 years with human resources and leadership. And when we helped and confronted addiction, it's it's a curve. It's called actually Jelinek curve. But I saw the same pattern both in all levels. So when we go from one level of consciousness and we shift consciousness, we don't go from here and directly up. Or if you want to be more academic, we don't go from one perspective of reality and just shift and broadening perspective. We go through a process. And this process is the istima process. Istima is from J.R.R. Tolkien's language. He was a language professor. And so when we go from one perspective and we shift perspective, we go from here and then we dive into, fear, anger, frustration, until we come to that breaking point. And then we come to the realization. And this istima process, I've seen both, it's really the core of our identity, who we think we are and who we really are. If we have a physical injury, or if I would lose my arm, or if I would burn off my hair, which is an identity for me, or in relationships, or like I said, also globally, it's war, catastrophic events, and it broadens our perspective on both our physical, mental health, but also in relationships, that we mature and we grow from difficulties. And also as a humanity and a community, when we are faced with difficulties, that we mature and we enhance and we broaden perspective. We see,
Right.
We are humans and we are humanity, and united we can make a change.
Okay.
So that is the success for me, is to face and to go through istima, both in my own self-learning, in relationships, and also to support humanity in these times that we are in, and that we need to broaden the perspective of who we really are as a humanity.
Right. Absolutely. One of my things right now is I feel like we are all part of an awakening. We're awakening the world, and has more and more of us, come into the light of seeing that. But it doesn't happen overnight for any one of us.
No.
So that's, I think, one of the great things about conversations like this, that we can hear other people's stories. And I think through the stories of what happened and what was behind it. Like for myself, mine started when I lost my husband. When I woke up from that moment of going, okay, Barbara, your husband has passed away, has died. You have not. What are you going to do for the rest of your life?
Yeah. And who are you now?
No idea.
If you're not the wife of, who are you now?
Yes, exactly. Outside, for me, it was like outside of all the labels that I had put on myself. Being daughter and wife, and being mother, and then divorced failure, but then a wife again, and then a grandmother, and now I'm a widow. Who am I, and all of that? And I think that's what brought my journey, that now I work with professionals, late career professionals, who have no idea of who they are outside of their job title or their job description.
Yeah.
And now they're facing retirement. Oh, who am I? Am I still relevant? Am I still, worthy of praise? Am I still, worthy of anything? So yeah, it's all part of that. I love that it's part of the human condition. We're at some point. So yeah. I love this. So, yeah, I love to hear some stories of how you've done it and why you've done it.
And that's also why, so Stefan and I, founded the Human Contract Foundation, because that is actually what we are creating, and together with Anna and our core team is a movement starting now and working for the coming generations, because we think that the change that we are facing as a humanity, it's not just one generation. It will take time, and that's okay. We have time. It's just to mature as individuals and groups and as a humanity.
I love the word mature, and I feel like I've reinvented the best version of myself at my age. So you talk about life changes. Boy, I'm here to help game changers of any age spark that catalyst within themselves that says, I am relevant. And when Maria brought me in 100-year movement, I thought, yes, now I can bite off something really important that lasts far beyond me. And it's really important that we understand our skill set at any age can be an enhancement, So, and I guess what I'm eager to lend to this is that Ishtama idea. I know as an artist, my favorite moments on planet Earth have always involved taking what I know how to do, which is singing, songwriting, storytelling, looking for that moment of Ishtama, because it's not something you can resist. If you go through it, and that is the hero's journey, is to face the dark night of the soul, and you emerge victorious, which means I'm alive and I'm on planet Earth and I'm better because I've learned something. You need to celebrate and congratulate each other, because that is the human condition, but it is the focal point for me in this movement. It's how do you take this rich concept of human contract, the rights and responsibilities, and create an emotional connection to it? Because when we really light this match, I'm hoping that it is that emotional intersection that you'll feel where you are individually, understand yourself as part of the human family. That's my goal. That's my job here with Maria and Stefan. And I'm privileged as an artist to know exactly what that entails. That's why it's scary and fun and really exciting. Right? Yeah.
How about for you, Stefan?
Yeah, I like what you say, Anna. We're coming to an age and we have learned a lot. And so how can I make best use of my knowledge to not produce, but be a part of a new way? How should I say? The history, my istima in life, what everything I learned, let's not let that go to waste. Rather, okay, now it's time to step up because I understand what is needed here, and in this whole big new foundation we're creating, this is my spot. This is what I know. This is what I know how to do. Let me do it. And then I would never ever be able to do what you do, Anna.
Right.
So I this is where we take one place where we know and we bring what we have and we do the best of it.
Right. I have to say, Stefan, I mean, I haven't interviewed you. Of course, I'm a huge Maria fan, right? But I haven't formally interviewed you. But what I'm amazed, Stefan is very humble. So in other words, he's not sharing half of his mad skills. But what I find so interesting is that you can hear dogs in the background. You can hear him talk about a child with a t-shirt on. And I'm amazed that in this evolution of Stefan, he's melding his head and his heart. And if more business owners adopted that, I mean, his entrepreneur skills are, they absolutely floor me, Stefan. I'm just bragging on you a little bit. But in the time that I've known you and I come to know your heart and how you're melding that purpose now with the human contract, that is exactly the trajectory I hope many people will model and come to understand. And you are uniquely positioned to represent that evolution. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
and it has more and more. What is really exciting me is that people from all over the world, there's little pockets here everywhere, all over the world. It's here in the States. Like a friend of mine is in China, and we talk about the same things. And in Africa, and another friend of mine is in Australia, and we're all talking about the same things. And so I truly believe that as all of us come together and as more and more people come to think this way, we are going to change the world and change the consciousness of the world.
Mm.
Absolutely, Barbara. And it's interesting you talk about those places. I know this about, and Stefan is now in Spain. Maria travels everywhere, including Dubai. She's a globetrotter. And I've lived in a couple of countries, and the big ishtama for me in living in a different part of the world, I lived in Australia for 1.5 years, and I was doing Les Mis while I was there. I also lived in France, and that was just a kind of an eat, pray, love moment, right? A very transitional time. But living in a foreign country, what I've recognized, the lesson is it's hard to be a foreigner abroad. It's not always easy to find common ground and then have the courage to sort of be an ambassador for your country. It's not always easy to be an American abroad. I will say that. But it has given me the courage to, look at my neighbor, look at everybody's experience from that perspective of an outsider and understand what I really want most is to link people and help them feel included. So, Barbara, you talk about the experience you're having. It's a privilege to talk to people who were conscious of that awakening. But I hope that that's what the human contract does in spades, is to really link people to this idea of global citizenship from the perspective of responsibilities. That's what's unique about the human contract, is we're inviting people to be responsible for loving their neighbor. What a grand global, John Lennon moment, right? Imagine peace. But we're actually asking, will you join our movement, which includes your movement, which includes who you are? So I definitely hope that the world feels included and invited in that sense, because it's difficult to link everyone globally, right? It's very ambitious.
Right.
Yeah, it is. And thank you, Anna. And also that, with the human contract stating that we are born with our rights, we're born with our human rights, but we also mature in our responsibilities, that we're born with the right to our body, our emotion, our thoughts. We're born with the right in our personal power. We're born with the right in our communication for our life, and also our unity, uniting as a humanity. But we also have responsibilities. We mature in our body, we mature in our emotions, we mature in our thoughts, we mature in our power, and to take our power and our rightful power. And that is always a learning. And we mature in how we express, and not only claiming our rights in freedom of speech, but also that we have a responsibility to listen. We are born with our right from the day we were born. We're right to our life, but we also mature in our life, and with the responsibility, and to take the right to live with whomever we want, however we want, but not at the cost of any other. And also as a unity, to have a united responsibility as a humanity. In Swedish, we call this civilkurage, which is moral courage. That if we would sit on the bus or anywhere in a public space, that we also have a united responsibility if we see injustice, and to step up for one another and say, hey, what's going on? Can I help you with something?
Right. I think one of the things that I loved that Stefan said about his story in Africa, of that they were celebrating. So often for myself, that I find when I'm talking to people, I find that they beat themselves up for all the things that they're not, rather than celebrate those things that they are. And I think once we can get the world population and maybe us four right at this moment. If one person is listening, you know what? Let's celebrate who you are and who you are becoming.
Yes.
Who you are becoming. And I think we're more alike than we are separate.
Very much so. It's so interesting, Barbara, because I used to host a show called Celebrate Every Day. And it was a daily show about that concept. And there were things to celebrate. I enjoyed that, but I didn't find myself completely satisfied. So when I took the leap in doing my show now, Discover Your Potential, it was because authentically I was stepping into my true power and purpose, as Maria says. And doing Discover Your Potential, it just resonated more deeply and more authentically with me. I can still chase celebration and joy, but I would not be living up to my potential if it were not doing something impactful and global. So, yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this opportunity. It's a really good fit. And
100-year movement. Yay.
I like being a ringleader. Maria always calls me a ringleader in a kind of a circus way. And that, again, the fun and the celebration is exactly who I am. And yet,
the human contract is to inspire to change. That's why I love that, we really took that stand on. There are so many organizations that are working like top down and, telling people or, educating, I will tell you, or, organizing leadership and organizations and, pushing down a conversation or directive. The human contract is an infotainment movement. It's to inspire to change and have fun.
That's what appeals to me. How do you take concepts and how do you make the word contract fun? How do you take responsibility and make that fun? I know exactly how. And this team here, as you say, Barbara, the four of us are really speaking this language. And there's a lot of excitement behind what that means to us because we actually do know the answer a little bit. And again, the people that are not on this screen that are part of this movement bring that same sort of joy and passion to their skill set. And I think that is the part that we're all talking about is how do you invite the world to discover who they are authentically and where they can contribute and be a part. Maria always describes it like a flash mob for the world. And I'm like, yes, I want the whole world dancing on this movement. That's the perfect description of what we hope this is.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And thank you for mentioning that, Anna, because I'm so proud of the team that we have, especially Stefan and I, we've been very, very picky on, who is in our core team. And the core team is really high professional, high academic, wise, but also high empathic and listening and very mature. So we're really off for a great start.
I just want to add that this can be it can be super big or it can be very small. It can start very small. And let me just take a couple of examples from my life. I just reflected on it right now. It was a couple of years ago. I was working with CSR within the company I worked in, and we did something for the homeless in Stockholm, meaning that we went out for Secret Santa. So we got a list of size and sex of if it's male or female, and the size they wear, and then list of things that they possibly could wish for Christmas. Anyway, so it's volunteer. I pick 3 notes and I go and buy these and I wrap them. And I brought my kids. At that time they were 11, 13, something like that. And so I'm going into a shop and buying a mobile phone. And my daughter, 10 years old, who is this for? I don't know. Why are you buying it? It's Secret Santa. For whom? And she wrapped it, and we went to the shelter, the place where the homeless were, and she handed it over, all of these packages, like 100 gifts from that company to people we will never meet. And like, why? Because we can and they can't.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be super grand. It can be small things. And the ripple effect is that she will remember that for the rest of her life.
Right.
Today in the car, the Spanish traffic is quite hectic, let's say. So line up in the roundabout, and I didn't have to stay or stop because there was a car from the right, and I didn't have to stop. But I did it anyway because I will only get 5 meters and just block him. And I stopped and I waved, and he was super happy. He could drive away. And my daughter like, but you're allowed to. That's you can do it. Yeah, but I didn't, go ahead.
Yeah.
And these little things is the ripple effect that will, when you have some kind of inspiration and guidance on how to help each other, that's the ripple effect of the human contract.
I love that you express it in that granular way, though, Stefan, because I think everyone can relate to a moment where they felt a lift outside themselves and they did something gave them the impulse to do a little bit better. And that's what the human contract wants to do. And I think Maria always says it best when she says, we are also here to be the impetus, but we want to take a measurement of that. Because we want to see what is the effect of that as we launch this program. So we want to come back in a year's time, drafting these ambassadors to do better, and then to take a real look at what is the impact of this movement. It's very important to measure that. It's not just a one and done, like flash in the pan, and we've created this movement. How does this impact when we link together? We hope that within the year's time of launching, we'll all agree this was a really good idea. And this is a way to link and focus on the positive effect. And how can we be a global community? How can we really dare to be a global movement? And can we measure that? That's really what this is about.
Exactly. And as more and more people step up, that's more and more things are going to be happening because more and more movements will be started.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And more specialty type things.
And also a stand that Stefan and I took was that this is not, when people talk about human rights, I've had people coming up to me and say, oh, Maria, it's a crisis here or devastation there. And what is the human contract going to do about that? And so the human contract is not an aid organization, but we are creating forums and we're creating platforms so that other organizations who are already, on site or other organizations that are already working with this, that they can better collaborate. So it's not an aid organization. We're not, fixing or, having the Band-Aid, because there are others. There's so many others who are doing that. So long term, and I love that. I'm very proud of that you gave that, Stefan.
Absolutely. Well, okay. Thanks everybody for coming on. This has been just a great conversation. So any final words? And plus we're going to be sharing with you, with the audience, how everybody can get in touch, especially to find out more about the human contract. And I encourage everybody to find out more about it, just because this is going to impact the world, and we all live in the world. We're not isolated.
No.
And I think so often we get people that say, well, that doesn't affect me. Well, yeah, it does, because you're part of the world.
Yeah.
My final word is I hope you'll really seek after us. I mean, I really do like to link arms. I think it's ambitious. As Maria says, we're not an aid organization, but we are interested in linking together with nonprofits, people out in the world, We'd love to hear your story. We'd love for you to connect. Please do take the opportunity to reach out and find out how your organization or movement can be linked to this. So I do hope you'll join us in any possible way.
Thank you, Anna. Stefan, final word?
Yeah, I would say, as this is human freedom grassroots movements, it's all people. It comes down to you. We can't be in the you over there. You need to shape up. You need to change. No, that's 4 fingers pointing this way. So it means that I need to change first. Maybe I go to the website, I join, I sign, and I read up, and I live it myself. Then we talk. No, you know what I'm saying. So it's all built from humans. So please join us.
Yeah. And my final words would be, if you're experiencing difficulties, know in your heart it's just istima, it's learning, and it's to mature as a human. And when you're in your darkest hour, you don't see the learning in that specific moment, but you will see and you will broaden perspective in the learning. And that's an important part of being human. And the learnings that we do both as individuals, in relationships, but also globally as a humanity.
Cool beans. I'm just finishing up putting your contacts into the
Thank you.
You went a little faster than what I can tell.
That's okay.
Which, and one of the things that one of the things I used to always get so bent out of shape when I would make a mistake or something would happen. Now it's, what, people, I really truly believe they want the authenticity of people. And
That's true. That's true. I don't mind doing it wrong so other people can learn from me.
Wait. Let's see.
Okay, did it not go in correctly? Let's see.
No.
All right, let me see now. We love this.
I just want to share the right email.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I see. Whoops. Now we're okay. Let's come back to that.
It's good. It's all good.
We love technology when it works, and we love technology when it doesn't. And you know what? That's part of this is totally live.
Yep. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So you have the same email address issue I do. So mine is actually Anna at humancontract.world.
Yeah.
Okay.
And mine. It's because we are the original team.
Oh, okay. So let's put Maria.
Yeah.
Okay. But we need a space there. And then here's Maria. See, this is, we love it.
We love you, Barbara.
I'm going to tell a funny story. One time I was doing a podcast. It was an international podcast. And my cat, you will love this, Stefan. I
saw it in the background.
My cat knocked down my virtual background.
What?
I had a green screen. And that knocked down the green screen. The funny part was the host and I were talking about things like, life happens. And life happens.
Yeah.
And over my screen went.
Wow.
It was just the funniest thing, because then he said, "You do know that I'm leaving that in, right?" And I went, "Absolutely. This is live.
That's
exactly what happens." So, yeah. All right. So now let me make sure that you saw they were in there now correctly.
Yes, correct.
Perfect.
And like it's like I said, the original team, only the first name.
Perfect.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. thanks again, everybody. This was great.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
if you haven't, and for those of you that are watching, reach out, let us know, like, comment, all those kinds of things, and just share out your gift, your humanity, your presence, because, we're going to make this world a better place. So thanks everybody for watching. We'll have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.